Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Nike KD Trey VII. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the KD Trey VII features a modified herringbone traction pattern, and on this particular colorway, the outsole is fully translucent. You guys can see what's happening beneath the outsole, and the translucent rubber on here is actually really nice. You have great traction no matter what type of court you're playing on. Obviously on the cleaner courts, you have way better bite than on the dustier courts, but that is to be expected. And the great thing about this is the dust pickup is actually super minimal, and the rubber is also extremely hard, so I feel like outdoor use should be perfectly fine. It's not gonna, tear up like the softer rubber outsoles that Nike uses on their other high-end shoes. So for some reason, the traction on the shoe is actually really nice. So moving on to the cushion, the KD Trey VII features a new foam from Nike. It's called Nike Renew. And to me, it kind of looks like it was derived from React because of the pattern that's featured on the outside of it. So the visible part is Renew, I guess. And I think the middle, you see how it's a different color. It's a dual density foam setup. And this blue foam is actually different from the white foam. At least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. And the cushion setup is actually really nice. The cushion is very plush, very bouncy. It has awesome impact protection. It definitely has way more impact protection and bounciness in the heel than in the forefoot, because not only is the foam thinner in the forefoot, but you also have it partially caged by like the outsole that wraps up onto the midsole. There are definitely some flaws with the cushion, which I'll get to later, but strictly from a cushion standpoint, the cushion is really nice. So moving on to the materials, the KD Trey VII is a budget model shoe or a takedown model shoe, and it definitely feels like it. The materials are just complete trash on the shoe. So the materials are just mesh, but it feels like very cheap mesh. It just doesn't give you a lot of containment. It does the job kind of. It just feels really bad in hand and on foot. It just doesn't feel premium at all. And in other areas of the shoe, like towards the heel, you do get like a foam back mesh, because if they use the material up in the toe box area around the whole shoe, you guys would be sliding all over the place and you just have so many containment issues. But yeah, the materials definitely aren't the greatest on the shoe, and the price definitely reflects that, because this is like $90 or something like that. But even then, there are some other $90, $100 shoes out there that have better materials, like way better materials than what's featured on here. So yeah, the materials are definitely a letdown, definitely low budget. I really didn't like the materials on the shoe. So moving on to the fit, I'd say that the KD Trey VII pretty much fits like any other KD model. I'd say it's slightly long and slightly narrow, and yeah, the fit on here is just super sloppy. So one of the problems is there's a lot of dead space up in the toe box area, which you guys can kind of see here. If you guys like to crank your laces, you're gonna get some bubbling up in like right above the toe box, and you definitely feel it with every step that you take, and it does get a little bit annoying. So because of this, you definitely don't get a good one-to-one fit, and also because of the materials that they use, it just doesn't really conform to your foot very nicely. Not only that, but the tongue itself is really annoying. This isn't a half booty upper or anything. This tongue is actually completely separated. It's just connected at the very bottom. So the tongue tends to like slide around a lot if you don't crank down your laces. And another thing is, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this problem with the tongue, but for me, the tongue actually kind of like folds in on itself. So when you're putting on the shoe, you need to actually spread out the tongue so the tongue is like even across your foot. Otherwise, it feels like there's just like some bumps digging into your foot, and that's also really annoying. I'm not sure if that's just, this particular shoe, like my particular shoe, or if this is just like a thing with the KD Trey VII because of like how cheap the materials are, but that is something to note about the fit as well. This shoe just really didn't have that great of a fit. So now moving on to the support. With everything combined together, this shoe definitely does not have great support. The materials just don't offer enough containment. So up in the forefoot area, the mesh is very just not great. It just doesn't offer a lot of containment. And I did actually have a little bit of side-to-side movement on the footbed up in the forefoot area. In the heel though, you do have like a heel counter and everything that locks in your heel, but the problem with the heel area is actually this cushion. Like for me, the cushion was so soft that like I could actually feel the cushion compress a little too much on some cuts if I wasn't using my forefoot. Just like if I was using my whole foot just to come to a stop, I feel the cushion compress way too much, and I actually almost had some times where I rolled my ankle because it's just so soft and plush, which kind of sucks because the cushion setup is really nice. If they could figure out some way to utilize this cushion without having that issue, then that'd be great. But the way it is right now, the shoe just really does not have that great of support, which is a huge letdown because, like I said, the traction is nice and so is the cushion. So moving on to the price, the KD Trey 5.7 retails for 90 bucks. And for 90 bucks, you know, I still wouldn't recommend the shoe. It just lacks the support and the containment, and you know, just the materials are so bad on the shoe. But the traction and cushion are nice, but they just don't make up for what the shoe lacks in. And you know, especially for like 10 bucks, 20 bucks more, even the same price, there are way better performers out there. It's just a huge letdown because this is Nike's first implementation of Nike Renew. And for me, you know, the cushion, like I said, the cushion itself is really, really nice, but the way they implemented it, I think just creates too many stability issues, too many containment issues, and it's just not the best. But if you guys don't like to be shifty and you guys are just kind of like standing still, then yeah, I'd say the cushion is perfectly fine. I'd say the shoe is probably perfectly fine for you. I would not recommend getting these shoes. That's pretty much it for this review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. While you guys are at it, check out this video on my left and on my right, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.